Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I am Christy.
And I'm Charla, and today we are making healthy freezer meals.
Okay, I don't want to get on a soapbox about healthy, because all of our stuff, we're making it from scratch. A lot of it's from scratch. You're making it yourself. You have control over the vegetables and the spice and the seasoning and the salt content and the fat you put in. But when you think of healthy freezer meals, this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, because healthy can really be anything as long as you're not getting fast food drive-through. And even then, there's healthier choices. But these ones are more what you might think of when you think healthy. Yeah. So today we are making Pesto Minestrone, Thai red curry. Now, those are both vegetarian. The Pesto Minestrone, you could use chicken broth, whatever. It's basically vegetarian. And then another vegetarian one, which is cauliflower lentil stew. Now, we made this like a few months ago for the first time, and now we've been making it a lot because I've been eating it a lot. Like for lunches.
Delicious. Anyway, it is so delicious.
So good. And that's a slow cooker one. We are doing a beef stir-fry bag.
Which is super colorful and very nice.
Easy. And butternut squash soup, because yum.
And it's good to have a root vegetable in there, and it's just got this little hint of curry in it that just makes you warm. It's really nice. It's a good one.
It's a great one for this time of year.
Yeah, it is.
And the sheet pan chicken fajitas, which are super great, like fast family meal.
Yes, and they are very colorful.
And anything colorful is healthy, in my opinion.
It's true. The more color you add in there, the more variety of nutrients you're getting. And I think there's a good, better, best, and that's kind of the gold standard, right? You want it nice and colorful, and you know that it's going to be healthy.
Absolutely. So let's get right into our cooking today.
Let's do it. Jump right in.
Hit that little subscribe button though, because we're glad you're here.
We're glad you're here. And if you don't know, okay, we're going to stop. We're going to do a bit of an introduction, because if you're new with us, you need to know we're neighbors. We're best friends. We've been doing freezer meals for 10 years.
Together.
And longer before that. And so every 3 months we would get together and we would do these mega meal sessions where we would do over 100 of these. So we started filming them, and you can look at us right there. And so now we do these little blurbs with 5 or 6 meals, and that you can
show you how you can do this.
You can do this.
You can fill your freezer and make it easy for your family.
And there's a tremendous amount of variety. So just cook with us. Cook with us. Watch for a little while here and come and cook with us.
We are making the Pesto Minestrone soup, which is, we're going to put our bow tie pasta in a medium-sized freezer bag. Later, we're going to staple that onto our main bag so that the day we go to cook this, we're going to have everything we need all in the same spot. In our bag, we are putting some zucchini, diced onion, garlic. Now, you can add celery to yours. I'm allergic to celery, so we skip over that for most of our meals. Some carrots that are sliced, white wine, or if you don't want to use wine, you can use apple juice as a substitute. And we're going to do some diced tomatoes and keep the juice in there because it's a soup, so juice is good. Then some mixed beans that are drained and rinsed, tomato paste, Italian seasoning, black pepper, Parmesan cheese that's grated, and pesto. Now this one, because of the pesto and the Parmesan and the wine, it has a really sophisticated flavor for a soup. It is very, very good. So we're gonna staple those 2 bags together. We're gonna be sure to get all of the air out of our large bag because air is the enemy when you're freezer cooking. It causes your freezer burn, and we all want to avoid freezer burn. So there you have it. Pesto minestrone. On the day that you cook this, you're going to add some vegetable broth or chicken broth. You can add it into your freezer bag, but then the bag gets quite large and takes up more space in your freezer. You can cook this on the stovetop in a large pot, or you could cook this in the slow cooker.
This meal is the beef stir fry. We're going to start with the beef strips in our bag. We add a cup of broccoli florets. These ones are frozen because sometimes it's just easier to get them in there than it is to buy the broccoli and to chop it up. So we're going to save a bit of time by doing that. We're going to add red and yellow peppers that are sliced onion, minced garlic, pepper, dry mustard powder, some oyster sauce and soy sauce, and orange juice, and then a cup of water, or a quarter cup of water. We'll add salt and pepper to taste. And then on the day of cooking, you're going to want to add a little bit of cornstarch to mix in with it and to thicken it up a bit. And you can just cook this in your skillet after it's thawed, and you can serve it over some noodles or rice, and it is going to be fantastic.
A few weeks ago, our youngest daughter had to have surgery again, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciated having a freezer full of meals. I normally appreciate it, but I do sometimes take it a little bit for granted because we always have those meals. But that week, like, one of our daughters had a baby a month or whatever before that, and she was staying with us with the baby because her husband was out of town, and our daughter had the surgery, and there were other things going on. And it was like, I found myself one day thinking, like, what would I do if I'm trying to take care of all these people and I don't have any time, and I'm like running to all these appointments and doing the med schedule and all the things. And if I didn't have meals, like, we would have had to do, pizza takeout or fast food or some kind of convenience food, or like sandwiches. I don't know. But for me, I could feed my family healthy meals and know what they're eating and all the things, and I didn't have to think about it ever. Like, it was just not...
It was never a worry.
Never.
Do you know what's even funny? That week, when you were doing all of that and going through all of that, normally, being her friend and her neighbor, I would be able to say, hey, I have a few freezer meals. Could I give them to you? To kind of lighten the load, because you've got to be, you're having it up to here right now. But she has her own, so I don't even need to give her my freezer meals. But that is something that is really nice
about having them. Is we do give them to other people.
We had somebody come by today, a friend of Charlotte's that's having surgery
on Monday.
On Monday, and it was so nice to just go shopping out of our freezer for her and say, here, this is something that, your teenage boys can put a casserole in the oven.
Totally.
And
I literally
recover, right?
texted her a list of what I have in my freezer, because I shop from my freezer. And I was like, pick what you want. And then she came today and picked them up. And it's so nice to be able to do that. But I didn't need to have somebody do that for me because I had it done already.
Absolutely. So gosh, freezer meals they save your sanity on a day-to-day basis anyway, but when it's crunch time and you're kind of in the red zone because you have so much going on, this is something we don't ever have to worry about.
One less thing for me to think about, and it just made things so much easier. And I did find myself that week thinking, like, what do people do without this? This would stress me out so much to have to think about, like, what are we going to have for supper today? And, oh, shoot, I forgot to, make food or go to the grocery store. I didn't have to do any of that. So it was super nice. And what Christy and I have done is we've created a way to make it easier for you to make your own freezer meals, because we've taken, the mental part out of it, all of the
planning
math and the planning.
And
so we've created the Freezer Meals 101 Club. The link is down below, and in there we've got our tried and true freezer meal recipes. You just pick from what you want. You
can increase the amount, the servings. You can double it, you can triple it if you want,
or take it down to just 1 or 2 servings if you live by yourself.
And it gives you a prep list
and a shopping list.
Because you're gonna have to you have to do some work. They don't
to
just
assemble
magic.
it.
We don't come to your house and do it for you.
No, there's no, as you said before, there's no like freezer meal fairies.
There's no freezer meal fairies. Although if there were any, I think they would look just like us.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe for Halloween we'll dress up as freezer meal fairies. No, but you're gonna get your shopping list and you're gonna go get your stuff. You're gonna prep your stuff and you're gonna assemble your freezer meals. And then you don't have to worry, like us, like your freezer meal, like fairy godmothers.
You can do this. Like you can make it so that you've got the stacks in your freezer and you just go and like grab one. It's so nice.
If you want to pick 5 meals, do that. If you want to just dip your toe into it,
yep.
You can pick 30 meals if you are feeling very ambitious.
Yeah, or pick 5 and double them and then you've got 10 or, whatever. But
whatever.
Anyway. We're going to get back to our cooking. I just had to share that little story with you because honestly, it just, it made me...
It almost breaks your heart a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes, to think about somebody that would have that stressful of a week and be so worried about, I was so worried about my kids and how everybody's coping and making sure everybody's needs got met. And then...
The meals weren't even almost a consideration.
Totally.
It was just taking it out in the morning and saying... Slow cooker for that tonight and it's done.
Yeah.
So good. All right, let's get back to it. This meal is the curried butternut squash soup. Start with a sweet potato peeled and cubed into chunks, butternut squash peeled and cubed into 1-inch chunks. You're gonna add olive oil, minced onion, minced garlic, minced ginger. We like the squeezy tube because it's a little bit easier and mincing ginger can sometimes be a big job. We're going to add curry paste. If you like mild or spicy, you can pick whatever you like. Cumin, a little bit of salt and pepper, and we have some options here. We can add in chicken broth or vegetable broth right now in our meal, or we can add it on the day of cooking and save some space in our freezer. On the day of cooking, you're gonna add that vegetable broth or chicken broth plus 2 cups of water. You can let it thaw, put it in the stovetop, bring it to a boil and turn it down low, give it a stir once in a while, and you want to just cook it until that sweet potato and the squash are soft, and then pull it off the heat, and then you can use an immersion blender to make it smooth. You want butternut squash to be smooth and it becomes creamy even though there isn't a drop of dairy in there, and you will be so happy that you had this soup.
The Thai red curry is another really nice healthy one, especially because you're just gonna heat this up on the stovetop, and so it comes together really fast on the day that you cook this. We're gonna put in a can of coconut milk, some chicken broth, fish sauce, red curry paste, honey, sliced mushrooms, carrots, baby corn from a can, and canned bamboo shoots that are drained. That's it. That's how simple and fast this one comes together. On the day that you make this, you probably want to serve it on rice, and you've got a very simple, healthy weeknight meal.
Ooh, we do love some sheet pan chicken fajitas. This is going to be the most colorful one that I was telling you about earlier, and it's the prettiest one, therefore the most healthy. I don't know if it's the most healthy, but it is going to be really good. We have 3 chicken breasts that are cut into thin strips, a green bell pepper sliced, red pepper sliced, and a yellow pepper sliced, and we're going to also add some purple onion. Some minced garlic, fajita seasoning, salt and pepper, and some olive oil. And we're gonna mix it all around so our seasonings get all over our chicken and our vegetables in there. And then we're going to take as much air out as you can and lay it flat to seal it and freeze it. For the day of serving, you're gonna wanna thaw it and throw it in a cookie sheet and bake at 425 for 20 minutes. You can serve it on flour or corn tortillas, and you want to put your regular fajita fixings with it, like some cheese or cilantro or sour cream and salsa or guacamole. And this one is nice because if you skip the flour tortillas, this is keto friendly.
Now, this as you've seen, we like to just have fast, easy meals that we can just throw right into the freezer bag, toss them in the freezer, cook them on the day of. But once in a while, you come across a recipe that's worth it to do a little bit of extra work at the front end, because the flavors are just make it worthwhile, and because then on the day that you cook it, you're just reheating it. So you can literally like reheat it on the stovetop or in the microwave or in the oven, but it's just a reheat, so you have to do nothing. This is one of those recipes. This is the red lentil cauliflower curry, and we are putting all of our ingredients into the slow cooker. So we've got some red lentils, onion, garlic, cauliflower, ginger. Again, we're using that squeeze tube, some red curry paste, salt, turmeric, garam masala, tomato puree, water, cayenne pepper, and coconut milk. Now, if you want to, you can top it with some fresh cilantro on the day that you serve it. You can have it with rice if you want, but honestly, it's really hearty on its own. You don't really need a lot. This is a nice vegetarian meal. But it's surprising how filling it is, just given that it's just got the lentils and the cauliflower in there. So red lentil cauliflower curry.
And there you have very beautiful, healthy freezer meals.
Aren't they gorgeous?
They are gorgeous.
The
and
colors.
This isn't just a dump and run freezer meal. It kind of is, but it's, gosh, the amount of vegetables, and
we had a lot of variety.
We had a lot of variety in there. I think it's really going to be great. Everybody's going to enjoy it.
So thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to hit that little subscribe button, because that's handy, and like the video. But more importantly, comment and let us know what your favorites are, what you'd like to see us make in the future.
Because we do listen.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
We get some of our best video ideas from hearing from you guys.
Of what you want or what you do at home.
Yes.
Yeah. And what you freeze. And even if you don't freeze it, we're the queens of the freezer meal. We can convert it.
Figure out
we'll figure
how
it
to
out.
take your best recipes, almost all of them. We can do it to almost all recipes.
We've been stumped a few times.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
mostly, if you give us a recipe that is your favorite, we will figure out how to turn it into a freezer meal, and then you can make it ahead and make multiples so you can have it anytime you want.
Absolutely.
We're going to put a link right there to some more healthy freezer meals if that's what you're looking for. Thank you for joining us today, and happy cooking!